Final question today is from Janet. She would like a little more clarification on a question that was asked last week. She says, I am still uncertain what my MIPS susceptible ACO participants need to do for MIPS reporting. Could you explain this in a little more detail, Dr. Mingle?
Thanks, Janet, for pushing for better clarity. Let me give it another shot. Of the four MIPS categories, two categories require submission. Quality counts for 50% of the total MIPS score. Medicare will repurpose the APP quality submission to count toward MIPS. If the ACO makes an APP quality submission, everyone who needs a MIPS quality score will be assigned the ACO's APP quality score for MIPS. But that's not the whole story. There may be some occasions where you want some of your participants to put in a separate and distinct, more personalized quality score. Remember that the APP quality score represents the average performance across the whole ACO, all of the participants. So half of your participants would get a higher score on their own, and half of them would get a lower score on their own. And maybe half of each of those, it would be significant enough, or at least half of the higher group, it might be a significant amount higher to make it worth a separate submission. Your top performers should consider making a separate MIPS quality submission either as an individual or as a TIN, as a practice group. Medicare will grant the highest available score to any participant. If they get a higher score from their individual or TIN group submission, they may get a higher MIPS adjustment. Promoting interoperability, that is PI, also requires submission. It counts for 30% of the total MIPS score for MIPS APMs. Each of your MIPS susceptible participants needs a promoting interoperability submission to earn any of the 30 points toward the total score. Now, participants can exclude from promoting interoperability for any of the reasons Medicare offers exclusions, including small practice or hospital-based practice exclusions. Otherwise, a submission can be made by the individual. It can be made at the TIN practice group level. And starting in the 2023 performance year, the APM entity can make one submission for the whole APM participating provider group. Now, promoting interoperability scoring works differently than quality scoring. In quality scoring, if you're a high performer, you could get a higher quality score on your own. With promoting interoperability, you really get the highest score applicable to the whole group. So you should never be able to get a better score than the APM group score. That is if all the data were pulled together and reported accurately. Now, two MIPS categories require no submission. Cost never gets submitted by anyone. Medicare calculates cost measures from administrative claims. But also for MIPS APMs, cost is not scored. Cost does not contribute to the MIPS score at all for MIPS for any MIPS APM participant. Medicare judges that they're already getting financial penalty or gain through the shared savings aspects of the APM. Improvement activities also does not require a submission. It counts for 20% of the total MIPS APM score. No submission is needed for improvement activities by APM participants. Medicare knows who you are and automatically assigns the scores. By legislation, APM participation always counts for at least 50% of the total possible improvement score. Medicare assigns additional improvement activity points if the APM design warrants it. So far, all APMs are good for full credit for improvement activity. And again, Medicare knows who you are, knows that you're due those points, and does not ask for submission to establish that and grant the points. Finally, I want to issue a factual clarification for an answer I gave in the last session. Janet asked the question last session about ACO quality submissions and MIPS APM submissions and the earning of APM incentives versus the MIPS incentive. I can you continue to stand behind my answer to the core question. No provider is eligible for both the advanced APM incentive and the MIPS incentives in the same year. I also reported accurately that the 5% advanced APM incentive ended after the 2022 performance year. It will be paid in the 2024 payment year. But I missed new legislation issued in December 2022. The Advanced APM Consolidated Appropriations Act for 2023 established one more year of advanced APM incentive. The incentive is reduced for this additional year from 5% to 3.5%. It's available only to qualified participants in an advanced APM in 2023. It will add 3.5% to all Medicare payments to qualified participants for services provided in 2025. This change fills a gap. In 2026, qualified participants get more favorable payments through Medicare's physician fee schedule. That is, every year when the new physician fee schedule comes out, APM participants get a higher fee than do MIPS participants or those just getting fee for service. Before this legislation, 2025 would have been the only year that the qualified participants received no incentive in the lapse between that the QP 5% incentive and the favorable PFS, that is a physician fee schedule conversion rates. Sorry about the confusion. This should clear things up.